Hey there everyone, Pallet here, and welcome back. We are in Star Citizen, and it's time for another video. This one I think is going to be a treat. I hope people really like this one, as today, well, right now, going on in Star Citizen with the end of Citizen Con, the ongoing sale that's happening right now, they are allowing people to free fly almost every single flyable ship in the game. I'm going to say almost everyone. There might be one here or there that is not in the game, or that is flight ready but not available to us, but it seems to be almost every flight ready ship is in. If I can find one of the dots here, so this is a tier 3, so we'll only see class 3 ships. You can see some of them there. There's the Glaive, the Scythe, the Reliant Core. Anyway, a lot of these ships are in. But what I wanted to go over today, we can see all the tier 1s, class 1 and 2 ships. Lots of class 1 and 2 ships. Lots and lots of ship. What I wanted to go over today is the Starfarer, because I feel this ship best indicates the passion, design, and focus that RSI, Cloud Imperium Games, what it is they're going for, both in terms of quality and scale. We've already seen the Starfarer a little bit in my videos. They were kind of cut in. I didn't actually do a tour of the Starfarer, but it was part of one of my videos and one of the experiences we went through. Today, though, we're going to spend some time walking around it, exploring it a little bit, because there's a lot in this ship to take in. So, to do that, we need to get out here in the middle, and there should be a dot around here somewhere. Where's the dot? Where's the dot? Is this the dot? Class 5 and 6. Yeah, here we go. So we have two different versions of the Starfarer. We have the Gemini, which is the military version, and we have the standard version. We'll go ahead and at first we will spawn the Gemini, just so you can see it. There's not a whole lot of difference between this, actually. Now, in order to spawn this thing in, we got to get way outside here. And there should be a little frame hiccup when it pops in. Right there, I think it was. There it goes. And there is the Starfarer. We've seen a lot of this before. Now, the Gemini version, the reason we're showing this one off, the only thing that this guy really does, he's apparently going to have a bit more in terms of armor and shielding. Mainly what it has, though, it has the nice jet black paint job. It also has, right here in the front, those are torpedo launchers. You can see that. Those big things. Those are for launching missiles, torpedoes, whatever, out the front nose of the ship. The standard version, the traditional fueling version, does not have that. The side cannons, though, are the same. The turrets, though, are the same. Obviously, this is all subject to change, but this is the Gemini one. We'll do is walk underneath this real slow, because apparently that's just lower than my head. Can we get over there? There we go. Gotta go back. Where's the dot? It's kind of right under the landing ramp, if I remember correctly. Dot. There's the dot. We'll go ahead and switch back over to the traditional Starfarer. Run back out to the front here again. And turn around, and you'll just see the difference on the front nose. It's just a little bit different. It's a little more rounded and turtle shaped. Looks a little more like the traditional, not the traditional, but the Freelancer. They all have a similar design cockpit. And obviously you have now a silver paint job, which also looks really good. It does. The silver black two-tone finish is quite nice. Come on back here. And this thing, like, it's just, the detail is incredible. Right here would be like an access hatch for pumping fuel out. You know, if you've seen a tanker truck drive by you on the highway, you've seen something similar to that. Obviously, there are 4 fuel tanks on this guy. You have 3 and 3, and then 2 slightly catered out and everything. From what I've been able to figure out, there is only one way into this ship. Up there is a turret, and there's another turret. I missed those somehow originally when I was first playing around with this ship. Those turrets, they're actually hard to find when you're inside the ship. They're easy to miss. There's a large engine up there, and then aren't there more? Yeah, out here there's another engine on the other side. I hope it's just coming across the amount of detail in this ship. It's just insane what they have done here. And wow, looking up at that grate as I run forward, that really hurts the frame rate. Let's look down a little bit. Okay. To actually open the ship up, we're going to go ahead and we're going to come up here and we're going to interact on that. It's going to bring out this landing pad here. Yeah, my computer's having frame rate issues with this thing. Time to upgrade. Time to get rid of this potato. come on up inside here to what is a reasonably large galley. Now, obviously, this is a fueler. This isn't a transport in terms of cargo transport. Well, fuels cargo, I guess. But you have a reasonably large cargo gallery here that you're going to be able to put some crates down. But that's not mainly what this thing is for. Again, it's going to be for refueling. It's a logistics ship. You take this along on fleet action, so when the quantum engines start running low, you'll be able to hopefully at some point pull fuel from these to refill your quantum engines. The actual lower deck here, there's not a whole lot of interactivity. There are lines of little bucket-like flight seats here, but none of them are clickable. The crash seats, none of them have an interaction that I've been able to find. Right up in here through this front door is an airlock that this actually opens up to a coupler. What is this called? Like a boarding collar? Yeah, boarding collar is what this would be called, which will open up. There's no actual button for this one. It's all just down here. And then you'd be able to, we can go ahead and hop through there. Blue. And I guess that is kind of a possible second entrance into the ship through the boarding collar. Can we close it? Yep, there we go. Go back around. We're not jumping that high, but if you were out in space, EVA'd, you could probably just EVA right back up in through there. So that is something to consider if you need to take on one of these ships. Depending on how they do the logistics of locking down the hatches, if you're going to need special permissions to open hatches or not, you know, that is a way you could get inside this ship. But what you could notice here is between the boarding collar and all that in this open area, you could have quite a few troops inside the bay of this thing while you're flying along and kind of use it as a planetary drop ship. It's not a combat ship, but it could be used. Oh, back in this area here, from what I've noticed, there are other doors, but they don't seem to lead anywhere. You can see here, there's no interactivity. I'm not sure if this part's not finished or what these doors are for, but they definitely don't have an interaction effect. Go ahead, go back through the airlock and back into the main hangar. At which point we can go on up around. So from the lower hangar, there's only one way up to the second deck. There's actually 4 decks here. Now the lower deck, the first deck is the biggest deck. The second deck is the second biggest deck, and deck 3 and 4 get progressively smaller. They're a bit smaller. On this upper deck, this part here I have shown off before. So this part is, if we close that up, another airlock. This allows us to get out on this catwalk. So this is the catwalk up above the fueling center. So down there are the fueling tanks. We can come on back here, and up there to the right and to the left are 2 of the laser turrets. Turret. This area, I imagine, is going to be when the ability to refuel ships come online. I guess that this is where they're going to tie into. You're going to be able to use these panels here for refueling. Also back up here, something I had missed until I was running around later on this ship, and I do apologize for the frame rate. There's so much going on this ship. My computer is chugging. But here, there are actual lifts. We can call down a lift. You'll see, whoop, come on down. And this actually takes us up to the 3rd level. We're not going to take that for right now, as we're going to kind of take this a bit more in order. Can we set it up? Can we set it up without getting caught? There we go. And there's another lift over on this side. But what this will allow you to do, and you'll notice this later on, you can go from the crew quarters straight down to this back dock with relative ease. You don't have to go back down through it. Come on back in through the airlock, and we could go either way. We might as well go this way. Open that, and come back through here, and we're back on this upper catwalk that doesn't connect around that way, but will bring us around to a central control panel. What is this way? Why don't I not recognize this area? Hang on, I don't recognize where this goes. Where does this take us? Is this in where the reactor is? Yes, this is in where the reactor is. I missed that entire stairwell. See, even I've spent a good hour running around this ship trying to get to know it, and even I miss this because I never go over here. I never go left. Wait, what the? We came out there. Oh, so you can't actually, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. I never actually go this way. I always go that way around. This control panel here, I believe when you're actually flying, that door, that air cycler over there, this will cycle that. So you can use this to open and control that. Not entirely sure why. This looks like this is going to be the main control for, you'll need somebody manning this and then somebody in the back manning the actual fuel tanks, probably to refuel ships. And this just brings us back around the other way. Now, the important part to the ship is actually up through here on the second deck. In here, we have escape pods on either side. These are not functional yet. There's no way to actually do anything with these. You can kind of get in them. And, you know, you definitely don't want to be a few pounds heavier. That door is going to make you feel bad. But there are some escape pods here. These are not the only escape pods in this ship, though. These are the ones for basically the command crew, because in the command crew here, on the command deck, we have actually 5 chairs. We have pilot on the left, co-pilot on the right. The pilot is fully functional, as you would expect. As I said, this ship is completely flight ready. The co-pilot, I'm not really sure what he's going to do. You know, that part still needs to be figured out. There is a captain's chair here. Get you sitting around. You can look all captain-y like. You can order people around, control things. We hit F4 here, so this is obviously the back of the ship, front of the ship. But there we go. We have our captain. I'm ready for the new character models because this guy looks creepy. He does look a little creepy. Okay. Go ahead and get up from there. And then there are 2 like engineering pods back here. So back here on the right, back here on the left are what I guess would be engineering stations. These guys would be the ones that can control the shields, the thrusters, the power to the weapons and everything. While the ship is not underway, without the engines up and running, they don't do anything. We'll sit down here and nothing will happen. However, if we were in the actual game and somebody was flying, this ship station would open up. You'd have a panel here. Similar to what I've said in a previous video, right now you can adjust the panel, but it really doesn't have any effect on the ship. That part has not been implemented in yet. Also, both of these on the backside are the same. So this panel and that panel are the same. That may change in future development. So that is the captain's or the cockpit area. The one thing that is really great about this cockpit and the way the captain's seat sets up, when you go into quantum, the whole ship like elongates and stretches, and it's very much something straight out of Star Trek or Star Wars, where you're sitting here and you watch the guys in front of you kind of blur and distort as they stretch out, and then all of a sudden you catch back up to them. I'll see if I can edit in some footage showing that. It's a really awesome effect when it happens. All right, we're going to come on back down here, and now we are going to go up into the crew quarters. Now, to get to the crew quarters, we can actually go that way that we just discovered, but that's going to take me a little bit out of the way I want. But there is a ladder up into the upper decks, so this is the other way around that we were originally going to go. So come here, and we'll take the ladder up. And we're going to end up in this very Aliens-esque crawl space. Very awesome crawl space. Come over here, and this is kind of where the stairs come out, but on that other side there. We're not stopping on this deck yet. We are going up to the 4th deck. Then we will come back down to the 3rd. Here we are. We are now up on the 4th deck. So this is the highest deck. This is the top deck of the ship. And we come on through here, and we have what is the crew living quarters for the most part. First of all, there is a turret. Now, this turret is going to glitch out. I'll go ahead and get into it, but be warned, this turret's going to glitch out. In my experience with the way the game is right now, again, when the ship does not have a captain in it, is not underway, the turrets just kind of don't do anything. The field on this one is actually okay. Sometimes they will you'll not be able to see anything. They'll glitch out so far. But this turret is not active. You can see this is like the front-facing turret. That would be the nose kind of just down below us. Can't really see anything. There's the wings on the left and on the right. But this is your upper turret. Go ahead and we'll drop out of this. Come on. For now, we are going to ignore the doors on either side of the turret, and we are going to start straight across here. So here is the beginning of your crew quarters. You do have a kitchen with a futuristic microwave of some sort, an oven and other things. You know, this is your mess area. A table with benches, and back in here is the actual captain's quarters. So if you're the captain of this ship and you're role-playing, you have actually fairly nice quarters. You have a desk that needs a chair. They need to put a chair in here or something bolted down. You have a wine rack, wine cooler, all that system, so I approve. A baby changing station, I assume. I don't know what that is for. You have a bed, and I love this. Look at the sheets they put on this bed. This is like so troll. Look at the blanket on that bed. If you have the military version, unfortunately you get like a standard military blanket instead of this. The only thing this is missing is like the mobile from Futurama of the spaceship, and that would go over the top. And then you have a bathroom, sink, toilet, and shower. The shower actually is part of the toilet. Okay, but that's the captain quarters. You can see outside a little bit there. Come back around, back into the dining facility, and then through this door, we have the rest of the crew quarters. So we have a row of bunks here. What do we have? 6 bunks. Yep. 6 bunks. They can see out. Not that window. There is one window you can see out, if I recall. Yep, right here, another window, basically the exact opposite of the captain's. These beds are not interactable yet. I don't know if this just hasn't been implemented, but I know, like, beds in the Aurora, beds in the Cutlass, not the Cutlass, but, oh yeah, the Cutlass, beds in the Constellation, all those are interactable. So I imagine these just haven't been implemented yet. And then over here, we have both a men's and, well, this was the woman's. I realized I went to the woman's bathroom. Another shower, stall, sink, all that. So the detail, this is what I was really getting to. Like, there's no corner cutting going on when it comes to this ship. They went and said, you know what would it take to make a ship as close to what is going to be realistically needed 1,000 years from now to fly around space? And that is what they tried to make. So that was that. This is what we originally came up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we'll take this here, and this is going to cut us down to the half deck. We could call a lift. That'll come on up here. Or there's also a ladder right here, and we'll just climb right on that ladder automatically, go on down. But I imagine this is like for carrying maybe ordnance around or parts for when you need to maneuver, because obviously you don't want to carry heavy stuff up and down the ladder, so you can use the lift system. Oh. If I click that one, it was probably trying to crush me. You know, you can get parts in and out. And this is going to open us up into this area here. Now, we are on this side. I think that means... Nope, that's a crawl space. I've just got to get my orientation. Yep, there's the stairs. So this is the stairs that I said I missed earlier. And this would be the other side where there's another lift and another ladder up back to the crew quarters. Okay. From here now, we actually have a lot of the key internal components of the ship, which is just really cool, if you ask me. When we actually come through here, we are going to be able to see, and, well, I guess I can show these areas off. There's these little crawl spaces that right now have nothing in them, and I don't know if they ever will. What this could actually be is... We know there's going to be ship damage on the larger scale ships that are going to allow you, you're going to have to send your crew out to repair it. And I think my character's stuck. You have to have your crew, you're like an engineering person, crawl around and repair your ship. And this could be the beginnings of that. What could happen is there could be damaged areas in this, and an engineer needs to come around and repair this. Now, this isn't going to be on your smaller fighters, but it is going to be on your larger ships. So that could be what we are seeing here. This area will be implemented for that. This is a ladder. Oh, this was the area we went up before. So this is the double. Yep, I'm totally stuck. It's a little glitchy. It's a little glitchy. Can't argue that. But that could be what those crawl spaces are designed for. And there's going to be more on the other side. Obviously, the stairwell's not there, but if we come here, there'll be another one right here on the right. Yep. If you're claustrophobic, this ship might not be for you. If you have nightmares about the movie Aliens, this ship might not be for you. Okay, back in here. Now is where we start getting into, again, some of the more cool stuff. That there, and this here. I don't know for sure, but I believe this guy here is supposed to be the reactor. This is the propulsion reactor, I think, for the ship. This powers everything. Not propulsion, but the reactor that gives everything power. And then in here, I believe this is supposed to be the gravity generator. This is the artificial gravity generator. Panels, nothing I can do with these. Either not implemented yet, or they need to be interacted with when somebody's flying the ship, similar to like the control panel on the engineer's console. Okay, and that's that. Back here, there's some more drop pods, escape pods. You can see here's 2 escape pods for the crews that are working in there. Over there's some more escape pods. I think there were no more escape pods there. And then from here, we can go back down. And what we are actually in on this part, this is the upper pylon above where the fuel cells are. So you can see the fuel cells down there. And in the back here is the rear turrets. So the rear turret will come up, flip around, and you're actually in the thing upside down. Now you are in 0G, and I'm guessing there's going to be no gravity considered in this area. So hopefully you don't get too bad of vertigo. But you can see here we are now actually underneath, upside down on the back of the ship. And can we see you can kind of see the other one just there on the left side of the screen. I can't look any further left. There's the other turret. So yeah, that is the Starfarer. Now, in terms of flying this ship, I could take it out, but there's really not a whole lot to show. It's big, it's slow, it doesn't maneuver very well, but it's not designed to. The ship really right now, with where the game is, doesn't have a whole lot of practical application. I just fell through the ship. I was trying to crouch to look at the engine through the thing, and I ended up falling through the ship. Right now, with where the ship is in game, it doesn't have a whole lot of practical application, since there's nothing beyond that one little area of space we can interact. There's no way to refuel ships. With what the ship can do, there's just nothing that you need. Now, once the planets are implemented, well, you have a reasonably good cargo spot. So you could bring this down to a planet. It's going to be tough to land, but you could take this to a planet and use this to haul cargo. Obviously, once fleets are involved, you'll be able to go ahead and take this ship out and hopefully use it to refuel fleets. Keep other large capital ships up and running and going, and that's probably going to be the main use for this ship. But as it stands right now within the game, what we have is an unbelievably detailed, well-designed ship that has some awesome ideas behind it, but unfortunately it just doesn't have an application within the current game. You can see where it's going to, and if you're somebody that has one of these, I'm jealous. These things are just, it's awesome. For that matter, and it really gives you hope of what is going to be on the other ships, because this ship is far from the biggest ship. There are notably bigger ships. Even the recently announced Polaris is a good bit larger than this ship. So this ship is far from the biggest, and when we actually see some of the big capital-sized ships and everything, what we'll be able to do with those, it gives me some high hopes. But like I said, there's no real reason for me to take it out and fly it around. A, I have footage of that in some of the other videos. B, it's not really all that exciting. You have a very limited field of view. The cockpit's kind of nice when actually flying, but compared to the actual detail of the rest of the ship, flying it is a little disappointing. This is more a cruise ship. You know, the actual pilot just kind of lines you up from A to B and flies in a straight line, and you do everything else with the turrets. If something real big gets in front of you, you do use those heavy cannons on the front nose to blow things away. Actually, let's check one other thing. One thing that I didn't think about. So we said the Gemini, and there were those doors that I couldn't figure out. Perhaps those doors are used on the military version in order to reload this torpedo base. So let's do a little exploring right now, because I don't know if I've checked those doors on this make and model of the ship. Right, so considering those torpedoes, they come out underneath the... Yeah, they're underneath the pilot's level, underneath that floor. So that might actually be exactly what those doors are for. So this could be, we could be learning things as we go. So let's run back here. This ship is also going to be great for if you get one of the little golf carts or buggies driving this in and out of the back of this thing. It's going to be really cool, I think. Come on up in here. Come on, frame rate, kick back up. There we go, we're back inside. Now we're back up to 30 FPS. Come back up here, maybe. Come on, show me these doors. Nope. Nope. But that could be. That actually seems to make a pretty good explanation of what these doors are for. Because you have a little bit up here. So we're almost in line with where those torpedoes would be on the other side of this bulkhead. So maybe this is supposed to eventually open up and you'll be able to move up front there to where the torpedoes or missiles come out of. But yeah, that is the Starfarer. That's both the Gemini and the original one. The only difference, like I said, is that torpedo launcher in front. So it doesn't really need to go through it all again. Hopefully, though, this gives an idea of what it is they're going for. And this, again, isn't the biggest or most detailed ship they have. This is big, but it's kind of the small end of the big, or the big end of the medium for this ship. But she is a beaut, isn't she? All right, that's been the Starfarer. Until next time, this has been Paler. Thanks for watching.